Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
Now on News 6, surf's already up, way up at the beach, and it's only going to get worse, and so is the danger.
Here's the reason monster Hurricane Aaron, not a threat directly to Florida, but some parts of the Carolinas are evacuating tonight.
And new at 10, every vote counts. This is proof how one vote could decide if a local city council candidate has won outright or if he faces a runoff.
62% of the animals that come into Halifax Humane Society are stray animals.
After close to 4 decades, his animal shelter's cutting ties and canceling their contract. Why, that leaves a local county scrambling.
But we start now at 10 tonight with a neighborhood feud that has landed a man under arrest.
I don't really understand. I don't get it.
And also how vulnerable, to think he was spraying water on, people with disabilities.
Yes, that's not nice. You can't do that to a kid.
A neighbor arrested for repeatedly turning the sprinklers on 2 special needs kids, one of them in a wheelchair. Their dad started wearing a bathing suit to protect them from the water. The family tells News 6 that they have been harassed for almost 2 years. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, glad you're with us. I'm Matt Austin. So deputies say the man admits to being upset about their school bus stop location and admits to aiming the sprinklers on purpose. News 6's Troy Campbell is in the Marion County neighborhood with the details.
The victim tells us that the bus pulls up right in front of their house, and when it stops, it blocks the suspect's driveway right here, so both of their special needs children can board onto the bus. But now law enforcement says the man who lives inside of this home would monitor his surveillance cameras to see when that bus arrived, and then would manually turn on his sprinkler system to spray the bus.
After he left, you would see the bus, the floor wet and that there's water there. So I'm like, where's this water coming from?
Neighbors near Southwest 51st Circle in Ocala reacting to the arrest of 61-year-old Antonio Roman, charged with several counts including stalking and battery on a disabled adult. The family tells News 6 for almost 2 years, Roman has repeatedly turned on his sprinklers with the purpose of hitting their 2 special needs children when they got on and off of their school bus.
What went through your mind when your neighbor first told you that he thought the other neighbor was purposely turning on his sprinkler to spray the bus when his kids were being dropped off?
I couldn't believe. I'm like, are you serious?
Leroy Harris lives across the street and says he has watched as the sprinklers would spray his neighbors and the bus.
I don't really understand. I don't get it.
And also how vulnerable, to think he was spraying water on, people with disabilities.
Yes, that's not nice. You can't do that to a kid.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office says their investigation began last August, and on several occasions, an undercover deputy observed the sprinkler spraying the bus and turning off seconds after it pulled away. Investigators say on non-school days, the sprinklers never turned on.
Hopefully that would put a stoppage to it, because I was here today and the bus came and there was no water on, so obviously something must be working now. So hopefully he doesn't do it anymore.
When confronted, detectives say Roman admitted to manually turning on the sprinklers, saying the bus stop location should be moved. We even found a civil lawsuit filed by Roman against the victims, saying the bus blocks his driveway.
Do you see another way that the bus could park to not be blocking his driveway?
No. It's a long bus.
The victims say they are hopeful this doesn't happen again. They also say as a condition of his bond, he is not allowed to use his sprinkler system at all. In Marion County, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Another big story tonight, tracking a big hurricane. Aaron, make no mistake, the hurricane nowhere close to hitting Central Florida, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to feel some effects.
Yeah, so take a look at the size of the storm as seen earlier today from the International Space Station. That is a giant storm. So we're seeing some of the effects right now on the surf. We took a time-lapse video tonight from our Daytona Beach cam as the sun was setting. And if you look closely, you might be able to tell the surf is already up, and that can be dangerous, even deadly.
Let's get you right over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. The really big waves aren't even here yet, so how big are we talking?
Yeah, we'll likely see a couple of feet higher than what we had this afternoon. We had about 5 to 6 foot waves out there. We're going to increase things to likely in that 5 to 8 foot ballpark. Really through the overnight and through the day tomorrow and Thursday, that's when the surf really starts to increase for us. Of course, if you're boating near shore, again, small craft advisory in play. Those waves are going to be at 9 to 14 feet. Again, that's going to be back out into the boating area rather than at the beach where the waves are crashing. The rip current risk really through the weekend is going to be through the roof, again, courtesy of Hurricane Aaron. Again, there is the path, again, staying far away from land, at least the core, but you see that red all up and down, really from Miami to about Maine. The rip current risk is going to be super high, and unfortunately, we do hear of fatalities almost every season when we have these distant hurricanes. Again, the rip current risk is the real deal with these things. Again, Aaron itself is lifting back off towards the north-northwest, again, running parallel to the state of Florida, and it's going to button hook around Bermuda and get on out of here. But again, it's going to chew up some beaches along the way. We'll talk much more about how, again, that's going to impact the beaches locally, and we'll have a look at the thunderstorm forecast for tomorrow coming up at about 10:17.
Jonathan, thank you for a closer look at the surf and what beachgoers need to do to stay safe. We sent Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada to check out conditions. This was around noon.
With Aaron well offshore, the surf here in Daytona Beach is still very strong. Check that out. The Beach Patrol is warning these conditions will keep getting rougher and could stick around all week. Volusia County is warning about dangerous rip currents and rough surf, and the county has removed trash cans, equipment from the beach. They say driving could be limited, and people are urged to swim only near staffed lifeguard towers. Lifeguards say the best advice is simple: check the flags and stay out of the water. Again, these rough conditions are expected to last for days. Reporting in Daytona Beach, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casada, News 6.
Track the tropics anytime from your home or smartphone using the free News 6 weather app. Jonathan breaks down how to use all the features in this article on clickorlando.com/hurricane.
Developing tonight at 10, an arrest in our top story from last night.
I need police and medical. There's a woman been assaulted on a trail behind my work.
The Seminole County Sheriff's Office has released the heart-wrenching 911 calls, capturing the moments right after a woman was attacked on a local walking trail. One caller staying with the victim until first responders arrived. Deputies also identified the suspect they arrested in this case earlier this afternoon. 20-year-old Patrick Gamashi is being charged with sexual assault and battery and is being held in the Seminole County Jail. We broke news of this attack this time last night. The woman was walking on the Seminole-Wekiva Trail yesterday afternoon. Your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver walks us through what happened.
Less than 24 hours after deputies say a woman was attacked by a man on the Seminole-Wekiva Trail, detectives say they now have a suspect in custody. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office had previously shared this photo of the electric scooter and red shirt they say was left behind, along with this picture of the man they were looking for, captured by a camera in the area near 434 and Douglas Avenue. They say around 4 o'clock Monday, a woman walking here was dragged towards the wood line. Someone nearby heard her cries for help and called 911. It's a busy area surrounded by businesses.
It's a shame. You know, you hate to see things like that.
Our News 6 team spoke to people biking and walking and talking about what happened.
We were surprised, we're saddened. We see a lot of single ladies out here.
You don't know who you're going to meet on the trail, and you know, there's people individually riding their bikes, and you know, they could be creeps.
The Sheriff's Office says it's a reminder to stay alert. They offer free women's safety and awareness classes.
Deputies told us they had stepped up patrols after what happened here yesterday, and it was during that increased presence that they found the suspect. We'll let you know as soon as they share more information with us. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
In announcing the name of the man his deputies arrested, Sheriff Dennis Lima praised the Good Samaritan who ran to the woman's aid and stayed with her until his team arrived. And he especially praised the woman who was attacked for her bravery. Sheriff Lima wrote in part, quote, "Her strength in recounting the details gave our detectives the critical information they needed to swiftly identify, locate, and apprehend the suspect." Here's another look at the man under arrest. Again, 20-year-old Patrick Gamache is being held without bond in a Seminole County jail, at least until he faces a judge tomorrow. We'll keep you posted.
Well, tonight we're still waiting to learn what caused a house fire that took the lives of a woman and her 2 pets. Palm Bay fire crews were called to a home on Firth Road around 2:30, where that woman was found. Palm Bay community correspondent James Sparvero was there late this evening.
I'm your Brevard County community correspondent, James Sparvero. It's a somber mood right now on Firth Road in northwest Palm Bay, because right over here, the fire department says at about 2 o'clock Tuesday, 1 person and 2 pets, a cat and a dog, both died inside this home. The battalion chief, John Ringleb, told me the fire was contained to a bedroom, but that person and those pets could not get out. Other family members are here on the scene now grieving.
You could definitely tell that there's some tragic events going on here, and the family's kind of dealing with it right now, and they're in their way.
And Chief Ringleb told me they don't know what started the fire yet. The State Fire Marshal's office is investigating that. In Palm Bay, Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
New at 11 tonight, results are in for a rare August election. While turnout was not huge, it shows voters in Groveland are looking for change. It also really shows how every vote counts.
Yeah, while the results are still unofficial, it is clear incumbent Councilwoman Judy Fike will not serve another term representing District 4. Fike just got over 14% of tonight's votes. Retired Navy veteran Jim O'Neill was the big winner with more than 50%. Former civil engineer Michael Jaycox came in second with 35.7%. Now, Fike recently made headlines when the city council suspended her over questionable social media posts, but she sued and a judge ruled she be reinstated, saying the council did not have the authority to remove her. Because more than 2 candidates qualified, this is a primary election.
But O'Neill might, and I do mean might, not have to be on the ballot in November. Under election rules, he needed 50% of the vote plus 1 vote to win outright. 988 votes were cast. That would mean he needs 495 to win outright, and he received 496 votes. But it could change if any recounts or provisional votes taken into the count in the next few days. That could change things up. We'll have to see how it works out. O'Neill will face Jaycox in November. If he does not win outright, we'll keep you posted.
The District 2 seat will be on the ballot on November 4th.
And one of the guys I'm with got bit in the leg.
Still ahead on News 6, a crazy story out of Southwest Florida. They hoped the fish would be biting, but it was a shark that clamped down. Here with the man whose fishing trip was interrupted wants to do now.
Also, one local county suddenly needs to build a new animal shelter of its own. Hear why they just have weeks to come up with a plan.
There's a lot of things going up. Do you think Apopka is still an affordable place to live?
Yes. Apopka faces big rate hikes for water, sewer, and garbage. Next, what residents need to know before a crucial hearing.
You're watching News 6 at 10, live on a Tuesday night. We're covering Tavares, the Villages, and all of Central Florida.
Now on News 6, higher utility bills could be coming to Apopka this fall. The city just had its latest to consider hiking rates to pay for basic services.
Your Apopka community correspondent Justin Wormuth breaks down the proposed hike and why the mayor says the city has no choice but to charge more.
If you live in Apopka, you likely got this in the mail. It details the proposed rate increases for water, sewer, and garbage. I saw a lot of chatter, a lot of confusion about this on social media, so I took those concerns right to Apopka's mayor.
We got revenue and we got expenses, and so when your expenses go up, you have to raise your rates.
Apopka Mayor Brian Nelson claims the city's hands are tied when it comes to the proposed rate hikes. He says the St. John's Water Management District is now requiring the city to tap into the lower aquifer for its water.
And what happens is the water, you'd think water deeper would be better, it's not. So now we have to put on an ozone treatment, another 5 or 6 million. So we'll have about 12 million all in on replacing what was a perfectly functioning, water plant.
That cost passed on to residents, 15.5% higher for water, reclaimed water, and sewer each. Garbage rates could also go up citywide by as much as 15%.
When the tipping fees to go to the dump go up, we have to pass it on.
There's a lot of things going up. Do you think Apopka is still an affordable place to live?
Yes, I mean our tax rates are one of the lowest in the area.
Nelson denies that Apopka's population boom is playing into the rate increases, but that's been a common theme among locals who feel the city hasn't managed the growth properly.
We try to manage how many units, what kind of growth we're putting on those properties. But at the end of the day, property rights are what this country was founded on.
Sure. No, I totally understand that. I think people do understand that, but I think what they don't understand or what they're upset about is you do have that, but then the infrastructure doesn't follow when it's playing catch up a little bit.
I don't know that I agree with that. You have to charge based on the actual cost and the need. You can't just say, you know what, we're going to triple, quadruple the impact fees. You can't do that. You have to say, okay, here's the nexus, how we got to that rate.
Now a hearing on the proposed rate increases is set for September 3rd here at City Hall. If it passes, it'll take effect October 1st. I'm your Apopka community correspondent, Justin Wormuth, News 6.
Well, a big shakeup tonight means Volusia County will have to build its own animal shelter for the first time.
Yeah, after nearly 40 years, Halifax Humane Society is ending its contract with the county and cities in Volusia. As of October 1st, it will no longer accept stray and dangerous animals.
Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed sat down with the shelter's leaders to find out why.
Of Florida's 67 counties, there are only 9 counties in the entire state that do not have a government-run stray animal shelter.
And Volusia is the largest of those 9 counties. Sean Hawkins is the CEO of Halifax Humane.
62% of the animals that come into Halifax Humane Society are stray animals, and most of those animals arrive here with behavior issues or with medical issues.
And Hawkins says it's just not sustainable for the donor-funded nonprofit.
We invest between $700 and $800 in every dog and cat coming through the building to get them ready for adoption. And the municipal and county contracts don't cover but a tiny fraction of that cost.
Halifax will still be the place where Volusia families can go to surrender pets if needed. But the hope is by focusing on preventative care, they won't have to get to that point.
What we're going to be doing differently is providing services like public dog training classes, providing access to veterinary care, so affordable, low-cost and no-cost veterinary services.
Something the Society's medical team says is much needed to keep animals off the street.
And a lot of people are struggling to afford those costs and have an animal and food and everything like that.
The county says it's already identified a location in DeLand to lease for animal intake, costing the county about $90,000 a year. The Humane Society says it will still occasionally help the county out with stray animals until 2027, so the county has time to build a shelter. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
A county spokesperson sent News 6 a statement late today saying in part Halifax's decision to abruptly abandon sheltering services was communicated with little lead time, creating planning constraints that necessitated a rapid response on behalf of the county. You can read the county's full statement in this article at the homepage of clickorlando.com. A shark fishing adventure takes a dangerous turn for a Florida man and his friends.
Yeah, while they were posing for a picture with a 6-foot lemon shark they just caught, the shark bit one of the guys.
We were taking the hook, and we just finished taking the hook out of his mouth. We were going to go release him, and the shark just turned and bit me.
It happened over the weekend in Southwest Florida. Firefighters had to put a tourniquet on the guy's leg and then flew him to the hospital. Despite that, though, the man remained excited about shark fishing.
Luckily, he only took a little bit of me, and not a lot. So, I'm one of the fortunate ones, and, I'm a shark bite victim. A lot of good stories now.
He will have a good story to tell. He is expected to make a full recovery and says he's already looking forward to his next fishing trip.
The rare shark bite victim on land, too. That is a very specific one.
Buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, Jonathan Kegas joins us now. How's that radar looking?
It's looking pretty good. Certainly much better than last night. We just have a couple of stray itty-bitty downpours trying to sneak on shore. We have one on Merritt Island right now, a couple hanging around the coast tonight. These are pushing inland off the Atlantic again. Don't be surprised if you have that stray downpour sneak on shore overnight. Same deal tomorrow for your morning commute closer to the coast. You can track those downpours by downloading the free News 6 weather app, and again, any kind of lightning, you get that push alert as well right on your phone. This is what I'm talking about. 10 o'clock tonight. Future Radar doing a phenomenal job tonight. Again, pushing things back on shore. Couple of downpours again to start your day tomorrow, mainly closer to the coast. And then just like today, don't be surprised again on the early side of the afternoon if a few thunderstorms are sliding across the Florida peninsula. That's 8, 9 o'clock. And this is exactly what I'm talking about here. That's 2 o'clock in your afternoon. A few more thunderstorms try to get going into the evening. It's indirectly related to Aaron. These are not going to be outer bands by any means, still way too far away for that, but it is inducing a breeze off the northeast, so it's helping all the motion coming in off the Atlantic, helping to generate those showers and thunderstorms. With the heating of the day, it helps to add a little bit of more fuel to the fire and get some of them, like this afternoon, a little on the rowdy side. It's 4 o'clock on a Thursday morning. Again, we're starting to watch Aaron pull away, and therefore we'll get back to kind of our regularly scheduled programming. Aaron right now trying to blossom some thunderstorms, redeveloping again towards the center of the storm, but you see the tracker here more than 500 miles away, and you can clearly see the motion is in this direction. Again, this is not coming here. It is not going to get anywhere close to Florida, as we've been talking about since really the early stages of last week. Be on the lookout again if you're out in the water. Again, the rip current risk is going to be super high. These are the only effects that we are going to feel from Aaron by any means. It is a little breezy. It's because of the difference in temperature and pressure across the board here because of Aaron out at sea and high pressure to our west. So that's also indirectly related. But again, it's going to be gusty out over the ocean, as you might imagine, with a pretty powerful hurricane, again, safely passing by. Here's a live look outside Daytona Beach. Of course, it's dark, or else I showed you the crazy waves out there. 81 degrees, the current air temperature. The breeze right now north at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow afternoon, we're back in the low to mid 90s. Rain chances at 40%. Scattered thunderstorms again pushing in off of the Atlantic. Elsewhere in the tropics, 2 waves to watch. We have this guy down here. Development zone is a nice oriented way that we like to see it. Again, not pointed towards land. That's going to have a medium shot to develop. Then there's this one here, low chance right now. Here's the deal. The main development region, this area that both of these storms are in, it's going to pretty much shut off, I think, for the next couple of weeks. Post-Aaron, it's going to get even less conducive for a development. So this is what we would like to see again, rounding out August. So none of those are going to be any threats to Florida. 94 degrees as we get into Wednesday, 94 degrees also on Thursday. Rain chances back to 50%. It'll go up to 60% for your weekend, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, another Central Florida highway is going totally cashless starting in just a few hours.
We'll tell you about the complete phase out of cash tolls and what drivers are saying about it. That's next.
It is the end of an era here in Central Florida for drivers who are used to using cash tolls on State Road 417 at tolling plazas just like this one. I'm News 6's Jana Manahalal, and I'm going to break down exactly how this will affect your drive.
For decades, drivers on State Road 417 have had the option of pulling over and paying cash for tolls. But today, those cash tolls are being phased out for good. Electronic tolling is now the future with systems such as transponders like ePass and SunPass and license plate cameras.
I want to show you this. It looks like the cash toll system that drivers are used to seeing is actually already sealed off. And I'll bring you a little bit closer just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Drivers would typically drop their coins right here. Their change would pop up right here, and they drive right through, heading that way.
The updated technology will catch your plates or e-passes even if you try to avoid them. Crew workers who were at this tolling plaza told me that even if one system goes down, there are multiple ways to make sure drivers are being charged the right amount. But drivers like Alicia Smith are already using the e-pass.
I mean, how long has it been for you since you've used cash?
A long time. I just go by.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you feel about, them getting rid of the cash tolls?
I mean, it don't really bother me because I just go by. I mean, it'd probably be a lot easier, but I just go by.
So what do you do if you're used to paying the cash toll? Get a SunPass or ePass, or the bill that ends up in your mail from plate cameras may cost you more than expected. In Orange County, your community correspondent, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
Well, we are so thankful that you would spend some time with us tonight.
And we're so excited to say goodbye to you.
We want to say it
both
at the same
started.
time.
See you at 11.